Hey there YouTube, Paula's here once again with another awesome guitar to talk about. This is a Charbonneau guitar. Charbonneau is a newer luthier based in Canada actually, somewhere in the east coast in Quebec, and Mr. Pierre Charbonneau is a hell of a builder. Let's get into some details here. So what we have is a alder body with a black walnut top. Pretty cool, I like black walnut, sounds really evil. We have ourselves a neck that is 5 pieces of cherry and black walnut and Peruvian walnut, and the headstock has a Bobinga head plate on it. It's quite a nice aesthetic. The Goto bridge is very, very welcome. Thank you very much. Let's get that in camera B right here. That Goto bridge is very much welcome. And the electronics are, you know, the hardware is in black and everything like that. There's no scratchy ass pots here, guys. It's a custom guitar. And we also have ourselves Spurzels. See if we can pick that up as well. These Spurzels, black and gold Spurzels, which are just divine. I actually haven't had too much experience with Spurzels, and I love these ones. They're really cool. And obviously they're locking as well, and I like that as well. Another thing that I really like about this guitar is the actual Wingate Fretboard itself. It's very beautiful, and I've tried to encapsulate it with a few pictures on my camera, but it's just not as good as seeing it in person, because there's like bits of it that's a bit shinier, and there are bits of it that's a little bit duller looking, and the contrast is really cool. I'm sure that camera B is attempting to pick up the excellent figuring in the fretboard wood, but oh well, anyway. The other last thing I want to talk about in terms of details and specs on this guitar is the frets. For a newer luthier, getting the frets right is a big deal, because if your frets aren't good, man, that's it. You're never going to get a good reputation if your frets aren't good, like right off the bat, because I mean, if your guitar is unplayable, how the hell are you going to sell any more than one? So that being said, his frets are pretty damn immaculate. There is a little bit of an issue on the 5th fret right here, but it doesn't make it unplayable. It just looks like it didn't fit properly into the slot. But then again, this is a prototype guitar. It's not going to be a custom shop one where he's spending the extra time. This is just kind of for the review, actually. And this is also the first inaugural video of me getting a guitar from abroad, not from a friend that's in town in Vancouver here. So I'm very excited about that as well. Anyway, enough of my gabbering and yabbering. Let's hear some more sounds. So in terms of the distortion sounds, it's super pleasing. In the tone demo that I recently released of this guitar, I got all the tones imaginable that I would want with a guitar like this, meaning 27 inches. The baritone guitars are definitely a different kind of breed, and I really enjoy all the metal riffing. With the angle, it's very resonant. With the Axe FX 2, it's actually quite thick and juicy, but it does back off a little bit in the mid-range. I don't want to hear all that genty kind of 2K, 1.5K mid stuff all the time. The pickups really leave the guitar to breathe, and I love the sound of walnut. Alder has never been my favorite wood. Actually, I really don't like alder at all, but for some reason walnut and alder seem to work really, really well, and I'm quite happy about that, because I thought that, oh god, it's alder, I might not like this at all, and I really wanted to like this guitar because the guy was spending the money to ship it over, right? So I ended up liking it, and that's good. Now let's switch gears over to the clean sound, and I'm going to just play some jazzier things to really experiment with the tonalities possible. I'll obviously be switching between the 2 different pickups and the middle option as well. Let's have a listen. So I don't think that the clean channel leaves a lot to be desired. This is a baritone instrument, and it's definitely got some high output bridge pickups action going on right now. So I would treat this more of a metal guitar, basically. And I'm not the biggest fan of the middle setting, basically. Right? It's not something I'd really use. It's just not the sound that I'd go for. But that's all. Again, it's a kind of a personal preference thing. If you like it, you like it, man. Go for it. I like the bridge pickup by itself, and I like the neck pickup by itself. I think that in a lead guitar tone, it's gonna blow you away, because it blew my mind the first time I heard the differences in the bridge and the neck pickup. It was a very, very pleasant change from hearing more regularly defined pickups and more mid-output boost kind of stuff. So now we're gonna listen to some light sizzly lead, because I like that a lot these days, and then we'll go into the big high gain and see how the guitar responds with that. So again, the neck pickup is a little bit more of a vintage output, I'd say. It's not exactly my cup of tea, and I think that's fair. But now in the high gain setting, I'm pretty certain my opinion of this pickup is going to change a bit. The bridge pickup obviously has a fair bit more of output, as you heard in this little demonstration of that sizzling kind of lead. And I don't know if I like that. Maybe it's just the pickup combination for me. We'll see. We'll see how things change. Okay there, so the neck pickup does clean up real nice. Because it isn't such a high output pickup, every note seems to come out better when you're playing with high gain and stuff like that. Now, the strings and the action are a little bit foreign for me, so pardon me if my playing isn't exactly up to par as it usually is, but this is a baritone guitar, so the strings are thick and it's quite different for me. And that's not a bad thing. This is definitely a riffing kind of instrument. The leads are fairly creamy, but I think that the output discrepancy of the pickups makes it not very ideal for the clean channel applications. I would definitely try to throw in some different, more sympathetic pickups, because that's just kind of the way that I like things. And that might sound like a bit of hypocrisy, because earlier in the video I was saying how I do like how they are backed off, but there's a difference between being backed off and then having such an enormous volume discrepancy that it just doesn't make sense for you musically, right? All in all, it's a prototype. This isn't even finished properly yet, right? Like, as you'll notice, there is no strap buttons. And so, I mean, even the headstock isn't fully finished as far as Pierre is concerned. And the guy is a perfectionist. Let me tell you a little bit about him before we wrap up here. Pierre has always been available. He's always been able to speak to me about this guitar and about how I'm liking it and what I do like, what I don't like, and I think that that is invaluable in a luthier, especially someone who's new. They want communication, excellent. That means that they want to learn how to make their guitars even better for people in the future. And I think that that's just wonderful. I think that the idea that he's got such open communication with people is the right way to do things. And I'm actually really stoked that the guy is so kind and so forthcoming, and takes criticism well and isn't some kind of ego, he's a younger guy, and that's fine because he's on the right track to becoming a really great luthier. So I'm sure that we're going to see some more epic guitars from Charbonneau guitars very, very soon. Anyway, that's been the review. I'm going to continue playing this thing. I've been playing some death metal on this thing and I just love it. The bridge pickup, the Bill Lawrence XL500 is quickly becoming really, really strong in my book. High up there in terms of those excellent high output pickups that everyone seems to love. And yeah, YouTube, I want to play myself out now.